I want to talk about Pacific Drive because Craig, I know you played the demo.
I wasn't really aware of what to expect. I had
What
sort of,
was your idea of what this game was going to be? I'm very curious because I was
I,
thinking like more of a like scenic, evocative, reflective, like kind of like Firewatch, but like more ominous, macabre, like maybe a little bit of like neon noir elements, like and like I'm driving and there's like isolation and
yeah,
loneliness and it's just the voice over the speaker talking to me and I've got to get from here to there and I don't know what I'm doing but I'm driving and I'm in the Pacific. Like that was kind of the
yeah,
feeling that I had and like that is not what this game is at all.
no, no. And I also, for some reason, and again, this is on me, I guess, for not looking at the preview footage, I thought you were the car. Like, when you started getting out and moving about, I was like, all right, I didn't
You're
realize
like
there was
Lightning
the.
McQueen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I thought it was like a skull and bones on land situation, and like I just I don't know. Like I didn't expect the mechanic elements. I didn't expect. I don't know. It was totally different. It was way more in depth than I was expecting as well. Like just sort of to start out, and it's like okay, get into the car now. Put it in out of park into drive. Turn the key. Like oh, you need fuel. You need to put your fuel can away in the registered holster. You
Yeah.
need to like it was just now you've got a burst tire,
Oh,
and I
you
was
don't
like,
have any room in your inventory. Better move some
yeah,
stuff around.
yeah. I didn't realize it was.
Not what we were talking about of like, oh, it's like a walking sim, but you're in a car and it's like reflective and evocative and like that like very like mystery narrative based. Like it's not that at all.
It seemed almost like a scavenging simulator. Like you're going about and you're trying to scavenge for parts. Like I spent half an hour repairing a door for I think it was my passenger side back
Yeah.
back passenger side door, and I'm like, I don't even care about this door, but it
Yeah.
was like half an hour, and I needed so much different equipment to fix this door. And at certain points, I was just like, I'll just go without the door, but they wouldn't let you, obviously, because this was sort of the tutorial area. But yeah, it seems more inventory management, and I got to a garage and I had to fix up my car, and that's when changed the wheel, and I had to create this door to put on. And then after that, it was like, right, we're going to set off on our journey. And I drove about 300 yards and then it fast traveled me to the next area. And I, I don't know. I thought you would be
You would
exploring and
drive.
driving a lot
You thought
around.
you would
Yeah.
drive through
Oh,
the Pacific, right? Like you thought
yes.
you would
Yeah.
like and like it's a long drive and you got to get
Uh-huh.
there and like oh, I'm out of fuel. I got to get No,
Uh-huh.
it's like Monster Hunter World or something where it's like all right, you're going to deploy and then you're just
Yeah.
freaking it's the Starfield thing, right? Of like
That,
I'll
that,
go to this planet.
yes.
Oh, you're there. Oh wow. It's like I'm in a
Uh-huh.
car. Like why am I not driving the
Yep.
car to the place? Like, oh my god,
That was the bit that completely
that blew
confused me
my
when I
mind. Like,
went
I was
out.
like, no
Uh-huh.
way, no
I just
way.
drove forward and it came out onto a map and it said, right, where do you want to go? And I was like, oh, I thought I was just setting a waypoint and I would still drive to that place.
Yeah.
But no, it was like you set the waypoint and a loading screen and then it loaded up and I was there. And I'm like, so is this just a bunch of small hubs?
Yes. You have your garage hub, and then yeah, like they're called zones, and like it shows it like a road that goes from zone to zone, but you don't
Hmm.
drive down that road zone. You don't
So odd,
drive down that
so odd.
road. Yeah, you just go to the zone, and then you're there, and then you're
Pacific
like
fast travel.
yeah, and then you're not really like like you are driving in the zone, but it's like you drive like you just like rock up to the like next shack or whatever, and you're like, all right,
Look that.
time to turn the car off, put it in park, turn the car off because I got to do that every freaking time. Get out of
Yep.
the car. Oh, what's around here? Oh, there's a locker in here. Oh, I'm gonna take that. Oh, whatever. And then oh,
Yep.
there's a derelict car right there. It's all rusty. Get my buzzsaw out. Oh, I need to get this side too. All right, pick everything up, 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 pick up. Oh, you don't have room for that. Fuck. Okay. All right, I'll go drop this stuff off in the back of my car. All right, go over there. All right. I'll move this over. All right. Okay, that's got
I
to
had
fit in
health
there.
packs just
Whatever.
discarded all over the place. just health packs flung left, right, and
Yeah,
center.
I've gotta do the Resident Evil mini game of move this
Yep.
here and then stick that there and like whatever. This one's really big. That looks important. Better find room for that. Or whatever. All right, I guess I'll get back in the car now. All right, get back in the drive down the
Drive
road.
100 feet.
Oh, there's another building. Park it. Okay, I'm gonna get out. Oh, looks like I can salvage that. Pick all that up off the ground. Like. And I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, what Pacific buzzsaw? I guess the lore and the narrative is like all this stuff happened back in the 1960s, which was basically like, I guess the US's version of like a miniature form of like Chernobyl or something. So you've got like this irradiated space where there's this zone with like some weird paranormal phenomenon stuff going on. And you've got these three people like talking to you over the radio. They're very fixated kind of nerdy people, and so they've been like studying these readings in this like irradiated area, and they're trying to figure out like what happened in the late 1950s, early 1960s, and they've basically been able to figure out that there are these things called remnants. They're objects that manifest in the form of mundane things, but they're really like from another dimension or like universe or something, and they're otherworldly in that regard. And what they do is they form like a bond or like they latch on to a human being, and then they actually like drive the human being insane. You've found this car, which it looks like a car, like you find it, you assume it's just been abandoned here or whatever, but it hasn't. It's manifested from this other place. And so it's really like this otherworldly anomaly, and it's come in the form of a car. And so it's lashed itself onto you, and you're sort of bonded to it in a metaphysical type of way. And so it's basically like they're telling you in like an ominous kind of like, hey, don't not to be a downer or anything, but like all of our research shows that the car is actually going to make you go insane. So it's like these people that have been researching it, that are like overly obsessed with it and have some sort of history with it, are guiding you and directing you and giving you their perspective and their backstory on what's going on. And they're like, maybe we can help you. Like maybe you can be the first one to break this cycle. You can break the sort of latch on that this thing has on you, and you'll be able to get out. And somehow that involves like making a better car. Like I don't know. Like I don't really know how that goes back into the game.
Yeah.
But I will say that like the narrative, even if it's not directly connected to the gameplay, is compelling enough that maybe I want to, like you want to find out more as you're playing along. But
that was the one thing I was thinking during the demo was I feel like this game is going to be make or break based on the narrative,
So I would
because it's
say
going to
no.
have to have that narrative pull, is
It's
it not?
not.
Oh,
what you think is the narrative will save it. It won't. You are
Okay.
either in for this crafting, survival, resource scavenging bullcrap, or you're not. And
Right.
I will say, like the first 3 hours of this game
Indeed.
is like trying to insult me and my time. And then I played it more, and I did another excursion, or like whatever you call it. Like you go out into the zone and then you extract, which the extraction is really, really cool. Like, did you do like one after the initial one where like they don't handhold you? Because the first one, which you probably experienced in the demo, they're like, okay, you're gonna go pick up these things, and then when you pick it up, there's gonna be like a timer, and like you gotta get out before the timer's over. And they kind of like walk you through it, so you don't really feel like the tension. But like
Okay.
I was just like in the zone later on, and I didn't even pull the thing off the thing, you know, that like destabilizes the world or whatever, that then like makes it to where, or no, you pull those off and you charge your car, and then you say, all right, I'm gonna activate the gateway, and then when you activate it, the beam comes out of the sky and you got to drive into it, and the Fortnite storm like starts closing in on you, right? Like I know you experienced that at least once, like probably in like a tutorialization of it. After that, there's just like an alarm that goes off, like it's like, I don't know, like Soviet Russia or something, or like what, like you're in like the irradiated zone, or it seems like it's like Metro, like from the Metro series or something. It's just like or whatever, and you're like, what is that? Like, what's going on? There's like an echo or whatever, and then like the like irradiated walls just start like closing in on you. You're like, oh shit, I gotta go, and you're like turning on the car or whatever, and like I kid you not, like
Fumbling with the keys.
I am just hauling ass to get out of this
Freaking
zone.
out.
Like everything is closed. Like I mean, like everything's like burning up around me. My guy's taking health damage. I'm just like trying to get into this beam of light, and I drive into it, and I just go ka-chunk, and he just like throws me into the side of the garage door. Like I warp to the garage, you know. I'm just like ka-chunk, like, and I crash in, and I'm like, oh, all right, I made it back. And I think that's the point at which I was like, oh, okay, I get what's going on here. And then I like I go to the R&D hub like at the garage, and it's like I can R&D now because I got like points, I guess, from going out. Like I don't know where you even get them from, but you get like points that you can use to R&D, and like now I've got like armored doors and stuff that I've developed. I know I got the blueprints, and I know how to make them now. So my car looks totally different from the way that it looked before. And so it's like, okay, I get it. I'm going to deploy here. I'm doing a run. I'm going out there. I'm going to try and get as much good shit as I can possibly get to bring a haul back to my garage, to do all this R&D, to put stuff on my car. Now it's like an armored, Humvee basically, or like whatever, and you're like building up this car, building up all this R&D to make the car better. And so you're going out there and you're like, let me get all the stuff I can get. Let me get all the stuff I can get, like trying to cover all the ground, cover the whole map, scavenge everything, break down everything, pick everything up. Now you're getting better materials because, you're progressing through the game. So the stuff that's dropping is better. You now have blueprints where you can take those more mundane like plastics and gears and like whatever, and you can turn that into better stuff now because you have all this crafting ability. So even the stuff before, you're like, this is just fabric. Well, now the fabric, you can make something like pretty like high level out of that. So you're going out there trying to get as much stuff as you can, and then you hear the and you're like, oh man, I don't have much time left. And then you're like, okay, what do I do? There's still a building over there, and one major accessibility thing that I turned on that I think is game changing is I can see loot through walls. Like I made loot, like it shines, it gleams, it glows like yellow, so I can see loot anywhere. As long as I'm like, I have to be within 100 yards of it or whatever. I can't imagine playing this game without doing it. I would hate going in a building and be like, where's the loot? I don't know, whatever. I beeline for it, pick it up. Huge quality of life thing. It didn't turn off trophies, so I turned that on.
Right. Okay, so that one doesn't do it.
No, it doesn't. So I know where I'm going. I pull up to the shack, and I'm like, I see there's 5 things in there. I got to go open them. It very much makes things a little more like we're on a mission. We're getting stuff done. Mm-hmm. And so, like, that being the case, it's like, oh, there's this other area of map with, like, it looks like it's 2 shacks and a gas station or whatever. But the alarm just sounded. I probably got, like, 15 minutes. Do I go over there? Because I haven't even charged up the car with the like little orb, the power orbs things. So like, do I go over there and get the stuff? Do I have time, or do I have to go get the power orbs and charge the thing and activate the gateway and get the heck out of here? Because I don't want to lose all my shit. So it's like, and that's when it starts getting tense. Of like, I'll just loot one more area. I'll just break down one more car, or whatever. And you're really pushing that boundary up. And so that one where I had to haul ass to get out, I mean, when I tell you, like, on the map, like, literally, it was just, like, red border, like, right around my little icon, like, on the map, like, as I was leaving. Like, there was no more time. And, like, that felt, like, really cool. And to get back with, like, a really big haul and be able to use that to make my car better, I was like, oh, that's what the game is. And that's all it is. And that's why I kept playing it, and why I really want to kind of, like, I don't know, do everything there is to do and make the car as good as I possibly can, because I really just kind of played through the campaign and then did some extra stuff to be like, okay, what's the, like, end game here? And that's what it is.
Yeah.
You're making your car better. You're going out. It's an extraction game. You're deploying to the zone.
Yeah.
You're traversing the zone. You're Minecrafting it. You're doing not fun gameplay to get stuff, to research and develop tech and utility and stuff that directly affects your gameplay. So now you have tires. Now you've got a plow on the front of it. Now you've got a radar thing that can tell you where stuff is on the map. Building on it. And so it directly, when I go out next time, my gameplay experience is better, and I can do more, and there's more depth and a capacity of what I can do utility and function wise because I went out last time. I don't know if you got to look at the R&D trees, but there's like 10 tabs, I think, of like trees that like spread out like 5, 6, 7 deep wide of like each branch of the tree that you can R&D. I would imagine you can play this for probably 30 hours and maybe not build every, research and develop every single thing. So like that's who this game is for. Like this is for the streamer guys that are going to be on Twitch
Yeah.
playing this day in and day out. Their car is just like a freaking specimen, dude. It's
Beast.
tricked out with all it's got the best tires and the best armor and like whatever, and it just looks awesome. And they go out there and they're on a minute and they do everything. They get all the best stuff and they haul it back. Their trunk's so big they don't even have to worry about inventory management anymore. It's so big they don't have to fit things in like the little corner or whatever. And I think that's where it's at, is like that's where you're going to feel satisfied and gratified with the gameplay loop of like, I earned this. I went out and did these missions, and the result of that, the reward for that is that it directly affects my gameplay. Hour 8 and 9 affects hour 12 and 13. Hour 12 and 13 affects hour 16 and 17, and so on and so forth. And that's the pull of this game. And if people aren't in it for that, there's nothing here. There's nothing here for you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
don't go in this being like, oh, I don't really like that, but the narrative might. No, don't do it. Go play Firewatch. Go play The Invincible. Go play one of those walking simulator type games. This is not the game for you. You've got to be on board for that Death Stranding type of start out with very limited capability, and then you are building upon it, and you're making your gameplay better by going out and doing the hard work and then coming back, and then now that's not so hard. And the fun part is feeling how not hard that is now, and how cool it is that you're able to do all these things. And that's where this game shines, and that's why I think I'm ending up giving it a 7 on the Pure Dead gaming site, because that loop at its core is good. As uninviting and unwelcoming as this game is, and it really doesn't help with quality of life, and the inventory management is just mundane and pedestrian, and the loop is a little bit repetitive. At a certain point, you're like, I do want to go out again. I want to see, like, what can I upgrade?
They've got me.
What can I upgrade when I get back?